Gotta get my lips glossy. Moist.
Moist. Welcome.
Didn't even do anything
Crap!
to sync anything. You're just making work for yourself.
Boom, 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 boom. Facts. Your Opinion Stinks opens the conversation on a hot button business topic.
And flips it on its head.
Hosted by a wellness coach
And a business coach.
we break down conventional business
While building entrepreneurs up for success.
Who will you agree with? Welcome to Your Opinion Stinks. I'm Tanisha.
And I'm Tim. Thank you for listening and watching. If you're on the YouTubes, don't forget to subscribe and hit that alert button so that way you can be notified of whenever there's a new show that's coming directly to you.
Hashtag notification fairy.
Notification fairy, putting me to work.
Feed your notification fairy.
And if you're on iTunes or anywhere you listen to podcasts, don't forget to subscribe there too. So that way you can automatically get new episodes that are now coming to you once a week on Tuesdays. The other day with a T in it. Yeah.
Have I worn this shirt before?
You probably have. I don't know. Refer back to our previous shows and let us know in the comments below if Tanisha just wore the same shirt.
I was like, ooh, I wear purple. Now I'm what? I feel like.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Well,
Ooh.
it's all dandy.
Okay.
So what's up?
Today.
Where you been for a week?
Oh, here and there. Where you been?
Producing shows like a mug. They got me working over here like this is like my job or something. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm supposed to out being by the pool wearing my hoodies.
Your pool hoodies. Hashtag pool hoodie. Today we're talking about an opinion piece I stumbled upon on the interwebs.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought it would be an interesting discussion about the information business and the creation of gurus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of the infopreneur
Well,
ship and internet marketing ship.
yeah. A lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So what dirt you got?
Well, so the name of this article, this is from Vox.com. It's a couple years old, but it's still very provocative and relevant.
Yeah.
It's called, I Was a Self-Help Guru. Here's why you shouldn't listen to people like me. I learned the hard way that the people trying to solve your problems often need help the most. An opinion piece by Michelle Goodman. That's a long title, but that was the title. So
That wasn't really poetic for it to end with a name.
no, an opinion piece by Michelle Goodman. I said that. That's
that's
not
the
that
title.
wasn't the title.
All right. Just make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So I encourage folks to go and read the show notes because it's a really well-written article.
Very well written and poetically, which I'm always a fan of that when someone writes. But yeah, it's pretty good.
It was a good ending.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was a little problematic. So I'll give you a quick summary. I encourage everyone to read it, but here's a quick summary.
Do your research.
Do your research. So this woman, I'm giving you the really short version, but it's fun to watch her journey. The very short version is she was a freelance writer, and she started to become somewhat of an authority figure on this topic and career building around freelancing. And she got increasingly popular. And eventually it got so stressed, it got incredibly stressful. She became really disillusioned about what it was to be a guru, when you're like, if you have a book and that's like your calling card, and you're on the book tour and it's supposed to be so glamorous, but it's not so glamorous because a lot of the time people are paying for things themselves. Yeah. And
I'm gonna be right back.
Where? Oh.
Keep going.
Well, no, I'm gonna stop. I can't.
No, keep going.
I don't know where he went, but okay. So so she became increasingly popular. It became very stressful for her, and she became disillusioned about what it was like to be a guru. And people kept asking her questions that she didn't know the answers to. And this was dealing with really deep things in people's lives. And she felt increasingly like a fraud, and came to know a number of other gurus in the self-help space who were also frauds. Mm-hmm. Welcome back. Where'd you go?
I got a prop.
A prop?
Yeah, so when we get to it, I'll present the prop.
All right.
Yeah.
Mm. So she became increasingly aware of other gurus who were also, their lives were the antithesis of what they were teaching. Mm. So they're teaching, so let me find I wanted to find the sentence that says it really well. So she says in her essay, opinion piece, practicing what you preach is tough, and not just for me. I've known dating advice columnists who don't date. I interviewed a career expert who advocated nanny care for telecommuting parents while trying to manage 2 crying children between sound bites. I know a turbocharge your freelance income workshop leader who's privately admitted he has no idea how much he makes because his wife handles all the money. The dirty little secret of those in the advice business is that we wind up teaching others the lessons we most need to learn ourselves. So my general feelings about this is it's an illuminating article with telling about her experience as a guru and other gurus she encountered. I'm a little troubled by the conclusion, it seems, that therefore we should not listen to self-help gurus because they're all frauds. She doesn't say anything like quite that.
It's not that
explicit.
Pointed. Yeah.
Even though the title that I don't know if she wrote or not, it might be just a clickbaity title, sort of says that, like, stop listening to self-help gurus.
Considering where it's coming from, I think that was just like an attraction headline.
Yeah, right, yeah. With Vox.com. So, yeah, I'm a little troubled by that being the conclusion. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I understand and accept both sides of the coin in the article because the internet is about posing. It's all about posing. It's about being posted up, booed up, exotic location, money to your ear. There's a disconnect. We don't do that money over here type thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the whole thing of flossing and shining, and I'm getting really, slangy on this, but I'm going to get, more serious as I go along.
That's fine.
The whole thing of presenting yourself as being something that's either A, where you are today, B, bigger than where you are today, like you're projecting, or C, you're nowhere near that, is kind of an everyday occurrence on the internet. And in my space, it's commonplace to do that, especially if you're selling some type of product or service that's supposed to be deep thought or high level or extremely comprehensive or even hyper theoretical. So it's not uncommon to meet your heroes and find out that your heroes are not heroes. So that's the first side of the coin that I can dig. Mm-hmm. Where I feel it's a bit leaning too harsh is the spotlight on the false guru. Because there are some people that are living their truth.
Yeah.
It just so happens that they might be in a space where there's a ton of people also living that same truth. And then you have to differentiate between who's living the truth and who's living the lie, or who's kind of living both sides. And it's just muddy. And people are super quick to just be like, that person's a fraud.
Yeah, and you can't really always know. Like,
it's hard to.
There is something to be said for doing your research, being skeptical. Like, yes, this life you are presenting to me, this way of moving through the world you're presenting to me, looks really shiny and great.
Yep.
And here are the evidence markers. Like, okay, you seem credible because of this, and this. Mm-hmm. Then after that point, you just got to go, well, what do you have to say? What do you have to teach me? And figure out if it works for you. Because the person who may not be telling the whole truth about their shininess still might have some really
they might be legit
information for you.
Yeah, that might be legit. I reserve judgment most of the time because of just law. Like, the FTC makes it very difficult for people in my space to floss too hard. Mm-hmm. They've been cracking down on a ton of internet marketers for their claims.
Yes.
For their imagery. And even in their products, if they're selling something that's too grandiose that they can't really back it up. Because, everyone can make a case study. Everyone can make a false positive. And there's checks and balances in some of this that totally takes care of the skepticism of a person's believability. But there's many more people that are out there selling their persona than even the law can keep up with. Because most of the time this is stuff that's reported, not necessarily things that the FTC or any other governing body will discover on their own accord. So as we always say here on the show, do your research.
And stay within the boundaries of the law.
Absolutely.
And I certainly subscribe to the idea that presenting a persona that is in some way aligned with who you are authentically is the ideal.
There's something that's common conception that people buy into, and it's called imposter syndrome, where you're presenting a we'll use the term guru, because I don't think it's a negative thing, but it's made to be negative.
Yeah.
But someone presenting themselves as a guru, but not believing internally,
right,
that they are that person,
right.
And I think that also is a symptom of not being able to live up to a person's self-image.
Yeah.
So
I was left
that
wondering,
kind of falls that into like this article too, because like things that she says, it seems as though she has a knowledge base. It seems as though she's done some of this stuff that leans into, as she put it, Deepak Chopra. Mm-hmm. But she couldn't maintain it.
It made me wonder if she was unknowingly presenting an image that she thought she was supposed to present to be successful. Mm-hmm. And that was not in line with who she really was. So she was attracting questions and people who were talking to her about these other things. And she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
I saw that coming a mile away.
What are you pulling out here, Timothy?
So this here is my first draft of my upcoming book.
Oh.
Why did I bring this interview and why did I talk about it for you people that are listening on the podcast and can't see? I brought it up because there's these certain props or tools that we in the expert space are expected to have. And one of them is the book. The other one is the stage presence. The other is the interviews and just all the things that's documented in this article, which is part of the reason why I kind of leaned into it really hard, because I get it.
Yeah.
Like,
you get the hustle of, doing the media and having the book and having the talking points and being able to present yourself.
And it's work. It's just as much work to show yourself as being credible as it is being credible. Because, if you don't have a publicist doing a lot of this stuff for you or with you, then, you're doing a lot of this stuff on your own accord. It can cause people to get disillusioned, especially in a space where you'll end up seeing people, especially online, showing themselves living the life fantastic, not as much as they used to back in 2012, 2013, 2014, but even still more so, depending on what channel you're watching. Like if you're watching YouTube, you'll see a lot of it. Facebook, not as much, depends on which groups you're in and all that. That's all side comment. The reality is there are many people who have great knowledge bases that aren't ready to be upper echelon personalities or personas, and don't need to be.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it makes me think of it. What I also was left wondering in this article is maybe she needed to take the approach of being the person, I'm still learning, but these are the things I know. Come along with me on this journey. That's still a profitable
and that
way
would work
to
out.
go.
That work out just fine. I mean, there's many podcasts that started that way, like Matt. It's Pat Flynn, passive something. And I'm gonna find it because I know I just can't pull the name right now, but his whole podcast was, I'm learning this world. Come along with me for the ride. We'll discover it together.
Right.
And by the time he's near whatever the end is, whenever that end is, he's already gone through like all these different journeys. But someone will easily say, you're an expert.
Right. Like, was that a missed opportunity? Because in this article, she talks about she had just done this speaking engagement or something, and someone came up to her and asked her a question supposedly in her area of expertise, and we'll come back to it.
Yeah, okay.
And she didn't have a good answer for her, and she kept trying to find it. She kept trying to find it, and that seems to be something that really fed into her feeling like, I should not do this anymore because I could not help this person. But was that right? But was that an opportunity to be really upfront and say, this is not a scenario I have dealt with before. Let's try to figure this out together. And then seek out the resources and the things that might be what this woman needed that she didn't know of before. And that could be part of her story. That could be part of her journey of getting better at her own message to the world.
On top of that, that also could have been market research.
Right.
Not to say that, someone's personal journey
that
is something that you're going to put out there, that's not the end goal. No, but it's more so if you're leaning into a space, someone presents a different point of view or perspective that is beyond your scope, but, opens you up to a new direction or a linear direction, then that could either be, okay, well, we can improve and make an amendment. We can make something completely new.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is a point where we need to make a correction and just do a modification, whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's many times in things that I've created where someone might illuminate something that was a blind spot for me. And it's like, oh man, I needed to add that. And I don't mind, falling on my sword for it because I don't know everything. And in this article, I can feel the tension that, am I being an imposter because I can't help this person?
Yes.
So my mentor, one of my mentors, really close friend, great person. Ken MacArthur, you know Ken.
Ken, hi Ken.
So one time that we were together for one of his events, and I believe this might have been in Pennsylvania, it was early morning, and we're sitting having breakfast, one of our things that I made sure I tried to do if I had the opportunity. I was like, I'm going to get some private time with this dude. We were just having a serious conversation, just talking about life and things. And he asked me about what I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to do in my business. And I was like, I can't remember what it was at the time, but I wanted to help everybody. I wanted to improve people's lives, everyone. You know, I want to be that person that can help everybody. And he looked at me dead at my face and said, someone has to be the garbage man. And I took a step back to that. I was like, why would you even say that? He's like, you're not going to be able to help everyone. It's just humanly impossible. Because some people are meant to be on the journey with you. Some people are meant to learn from you. And some people are not meant to do that. That's why we have people to do the jobs that we think might not be right for us, because someone has to do it, which means that that's a person that won't be able to participate in whatever it is that you're doing. You have to be comfortable with that. And that I've taken with me all throughout my entrepreneurial career, because it was a lesson that no one took the time to teach. That was wisdom. So for this article, when I read that passage, I felt the pain, because you want to do it.
Yeah, that really affected her.
And
not being able to help this person.
If she had the knowledge, I'm not saying that she doesn't, just from what from what I read, if she had that knowledge, maybe that would have gave her the permission to say, okay, it's all right that I don't know how to help her right now, but let me see what I can do to try to help her in the future. Or let me see if I can put resources in her path so she can help herself. That,
not that it's her job to fix this woman.
No, it's just to be an asset.
Yeah, be an asset. What is that an opportunity for?
Yeah. So I think that is a part of the whole guru world, that a lot of the people that are considered gurus are not given credit for. And I think it's poison, because there's so many things, especially in the internet world, where if someone makes a claim or an offer, the whole thing of if they're going to get me automatically starts. Like the skepticism is the first thing.
Am I being
taken? I gotta prove to you that I'm not trying to steal from you, hurt you, defraud you, or lead you astray. Once I can get past your disbelief, then I have to have you believe that what I say is probable. Then after I get you to believe that, then I have to have you believe that there's a possibility that you will achieve whatever it is that you want through whatever it is that I'm doing. And all that persuasion is extremely difficult. When you see the person write the book, when you see the person do the interviews, when you see the person record the shows, when you see them do all of this guru work, and you don't take into consideration that the person is a human.
Yes.
Then it makes it all transactional. And I feel for her, she used up all of her internal economy because she kept trying to live up to an ideal that, unfortunately, even myself included, have helped to create.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem, and I think we need to own that. We being the consumers of this information, we need to own how we tend to put people in boxes, not just gurus, but all of the people in our lives. even our most intimate relationships, we put them in this box. I know you to be this.
Yeah.
So then when they're not that,
Yeah, they're out of alignment.
when they do something you don't expect, or have a political opinion you don't expect, or say something you don't, or like something you don't expect, then all of a sudden, but that's not consistent with the box.
Right. I didn't see that on the cover.
That wasn't on the cover.
Yeah.
But we're more complex than that. We evolve over time, and we are
Absolutely.
complex in the moment. We're still learning things about each other.
Yeah.
And-
Because we definitely changed
Changed over
consistently.
time.
Yeah.
And like, I can't believe you like that. What?
Yeah, like for the longest time, I could not stand mustard. I don't know what happened. Pickles, for that matter, too.
We've warmed up to pickles and mustard.
Life is strange.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But now I'm a guru in mustard. No. Grey Poupon. There you go.
Great Poupon is good.
But of course.
But, you know, that's the thing. We need to stop putting people up on a pedestal and not allowing them to be human. We're all humans. And even that flawed person who may not be living their book 100% of the time.
Probably at least lived at 20.
Right. They lived it a little bit and
Yeah.
can teach me something maybe.
Yeah. This is something I'll add to it too. The whole thing of the guru expectation is that they are a complete solution and know-it-all.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is where there's a lot of failure because I'll put it this way. There's certain people that I even cringe at, and I won't name any names, because of the information that they present or the way that they present it. You know who, like one of the people that I'm talking about. But what I look at is also...
Oh, I don't.
Yeah. What I also look at is the information itself. Because I know tons of internet marketers, information entrepreneurs who are amazing curators. They know how to pile together solutions. Not necessarily that they live the life or they gain the experience. They were resourceful and knew how to package. And that's
such a good point.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. It's like I don't need to know everything in order to tell you everything you need to know. I just need to know what you don't know, and I can put it together.
And I put it together
and you pay
give
me
you
for
the
that.
Solution.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Yeah. So it's like YouTube. So many people are saying, you know, why would I ever pay for anything if I can get it free on YouTube? What you're paying for is convenience. All you entrepreneurs out there that are paying attention, you're paying for convenience. You're paying for the whole thing of everything coming together in one place and
being
easily
customized
accessible.
to you.
Exactly. In some cases, yeah, absolutely. Even done for you. So there's many points that this article really brings up, and then I really liked the article, to be honest.
I liked it too.
There are just some things that we just have to challenge it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, we wouldn't have an opinion on it. I mean, that's a show. So what am I talking about here? But
people should be more skeptical of where their information comes from. I mean, from that point of view, this article is very aligned with who we are and what we teach. That, you know, you shouldn't just take someone blindly at their word. Thank you.
we went a long time and haven't even done one.
I know,
so I felt like
we're
we're slipping here. So yeah, I just had to throw one in. I will say this. I'm glad when someone illuminates this world, because I mean, there's tons of proprietors of information that do need to be checked. So this opens up a conversation. In that frame, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I don't mind someone starting the wheel and turning it.
Yes.
It's just that then the conversation just needs to continue.
Yeah.
Once the wheel is turning.
That it's just because it's a flawed space doesn't mean it needs to be all or nothing.
Absolutely.
Like it's all crap. Then.
Absolutely.
Like, no, it's not all crap.
Yeah.
And our consumption of it, our intense, prolonged, broad consumption of it is evidence of how hungry we are for this information. This is not.
Yeah, we're ravenous.
These are not ideas that most of us spent our formative years exposed to. Learning how to, like from an entrepreneur standpoint, learning leadership skills, learning how to collect and analyze information and data.
And disseminate it.
Knowing how to run a business properly, knowing like we seek these resources out. We look to gurus because they've accomplished something in many cases.
Or at least they've
have knowledge.
gotten access to
They have access to knowledge or people or resources that can help us along. And that's okay. That's all it needs to be.
I want to throw out one book because it's the book of all books. Every time I ask the question about what book has moved someone to action or tears, and that's Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I even say it's one of the greatest books ever written. It is one of the oldest ones in our space that all of us acknowledge. Here's the thing, though. Is Napoleon Hill the guru or all the people that he interviewed? Because he didn't have any of that knowledge. None of it. He asked questions and compiled it, put it together in a resource that all of us can buy and consume many, many years down the line, way past his time on Earth. And no one is throwing Napoleon Hill under the bus. He didn't present himself as being a guru. He presented himself as being a lifelong student. And I think that, and I even accept this, me internally, that I also am a lifetime student. I don't know everything, and in my lifetime I will never learn everything. But I can still, help people move forward with the knowledge that I have, with the knowledge that I can gain.
Yes.
And that, I think, is a missing point for her journey.
Yes.
Because it sounded like she had something.
Yeah.
And she was she just needed to have it work in her life rather than it have like spiral, because it just seemed like it just went out of control.
Yeah, it got out.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll end on this. How does, when we're speaking about entrepreneurship and us building businesses and et cetera, how does, you touched on this earlier, how does this relate to the fake it till you make it mantra? Because there's
I got something for that, because man, I hate that saying. Hate it with a passion. Hate it.
But you did earlier talk about how sometimes you need to,
you can grow into things, what
you're presenting.
But
so talk about that tension.
The reason why I can't stand that is because it's already setting somebody up for failure on the mental side. Fake it. That means that you are not that. Until you make it. Till either A, someone recognizes you as being such, or B, you accept that you are.
External validation, you may get so caught up in that you never make it, and you're always faking it, and that's
imposter syndrome. So I actually flip it. I say don't fake it till you make it. Just make it. I mean, people aren't podcasters until they make a podcast.
Just make it.
Just make it. Just like the one of the biggest lessons that I've taken internally is fail fast. I can be a chef and chop one carrot and it looks ugly. Someone might recognize me as a chef, maybe not. There might be more to it than that. But you get what I'm saying. There's so many people in the world that have all this great knowledge and skills. I mean, we our guilty pleasure is moonshiners, and we love the science of how they make their shine. But they'll be the first ones to say, as soon as you light that fire, you're a moonshiner. Not Like when you acquire the ingredients, it's the moment that you put it together. You know that process of putting it together, and you actually light a fire. You just got to do it. So that would be my answer to that. Because like I truly believe that it's, if you don't have a strong-willed mind in the beginning, you're automatically taking a position that puts you at a disadvantage, and then you have to fight your way through it. And I think that's not fair.
Yeah, and as long as we're all moving forward, knowing that everybody's on their own journey, and we can learn from each other even through our mistakes.
Absolutely.
And maybe we should be aware that it is human to categorize other humans and put them in these unhelpful boxes. But then when that box ends up not being the box you thought it was, don't freak out about it.
Make a new box.
Make
a new box. Don't put a name on the box and just throw everybody in it.
You throw out the box. Like, oops, I put someone in the box. Forget the box, and you break it down and you recycle it.
Get out the box.
Get out the box.
Get out the box.
Get out the box. Bonus points for anyone who knows that reference.
Yes, if you say in the comments for this on YouTube, or you find a way to let us know. I don't know how that works. It doesn't work in the podcast directories. Yeah, we'll give you a shout out or something. I don't know. We'll figure some way to reward you.
Yeah, that's not the exact quote, so you gotta
know.
Get in the box. You gotta get it from how we're saying it.
You gotta know what it is. No online cheating either. So don't try to like do any. Don't do any voice syncing or anything and try to. Don't give them a clue. Edit that out.
What?
No, I was just saying.
All right.
Oh, I'm gonna throw a word on the screen.
Oh.
Facts. There you go.
Facts. Hey, guess what? We're done.
All right, here you go.
Close it out for us.
Okay, so thank you for watching. Those of you on the YouTubes, don't forget to subscribe and hit that alert button so when something new comes up, you got it. And those of you that listen on iTunes and anywhere we play for podcasts, subscribe there too, because hey, whenever we put something out, we want to make sure that you download it and you got it straight directly to you. So yeah, I'm Tim.
And I'm Tanisha. And remember, opinions are not facts. Do your research and have fun in the fight.
Opinions, not facts.
Why did I can't end it like that.
Why not?
Fine.